Happy New Year! Welcome to Joe Daddy's Garage for the first live stream of 2021, January 4th, 2021. So far, so good, at least here in our location. I see that I have a lot of people in the queue already responding. Shout outs are coming. One of the first things I wanted to address, because I see there's some questions about it, was a condition of my daughter, our daughter, and the rest of our family. Our daughter is doing pretty well. She's had some congestion issues and then some dry sinus issues and different things, but it sounds like she's recovering, so that's good. My son and daughter-in-law had themselves tested so that they could go back to work accordingly, and they both came back negative. And my wife and I have not shown any symptoms, so sounds like our daughter was the isolated case in this instance, and let's hope that everything continues well from there, or continues to go well from there. So at that point, I'm pretty happy about all that, and let's go through and see who's here tonight. So early on, Terry Keithley had checked in. He's got fresh coffee and snacks, and he's ready to go. And that was a good while ago that he was already here at 6:26. Jerry from Middle Tennessee. He's checking in, and he says, "While I'm painting the spoiler for the third time, I will eventually learn how to paint. Airflow may be the key. Happy New Year." Roger, Hindsight 67, checking in from next door. Glad you're here, and Happy New Year as well. David Willis. Hey, Barry, what would happen if I used old school enamel paint and clear coated over top? P.S. How is your daughter? Okay, I've answered that. I have not done that, but we've had somebody on here before who has done that. I don't know if he'll be here tonight. Winged Warrior. Now, he just painted his Mustang, so I'm assuming you're talking about painting it with enamel, fresh paint, and then putting on clear coat. And that's what he did, from my understanding. He painted it. I think he did some, color sand to take out any of the orange peel and other effects, and then he sprayed it with clear. I've not tried it, but I have heard people do it, so I can't say pro or con. I don't have an opinion, really. Rick Stevenson checking in. Hey, Rick. I cleaned up the little center brace, got it all de-rusted, and put some paint on it, so thank you. That's ready to go. Leonard. Evening, all. How'd your New Year's go, Bear? Hope your daughter's doing better. Yes. I enjoyed the Merc video. Yeah, that was pretty cool. For Len to share that video of his 65 Comet Cyclone. And apparently somebody commented that they made a Capri as well. Now, I've heard of the Mercury Comet. We've all heard of that, I think. I know a friend in the military had a Comet Caliente. I did not know that they made a Cyclone, and if they made a Capri version, I didn't know about that either. All I know is the Caliente. So, pretty cool car. Let me go back up here. New Year's went well. My wife and I, we were here by ourselves, stayed up, celebrated the New Year, and went to bed. Derek Pro. Hi, Barry. Hey, everyone. Happy New Year. Let's do it all over again. Together, we'll make it a good one. Yes. I'll give you a bell for that. Let's see. Okay, Derek has some information, some ideas for me, so I look forward to that input. Stang Boy, 75. Hey, Barry. Hey, gang. Glad you're here. Bob Shoemaker. Evening, all from Oklahoma. Crash Rider. Hello, everyone from Southern Indiana. BK Woods checking in. And Harvey, Rally Cat Garage, checking in from New Jersey. Happy New Year. Warren Witten, glad you're here. Chris Greenaway, cold in snowy Ontario. Not surprised. Grease Rookie, Andrew, checking in. Hope you've been following along on his progress. He's been doing good stuff on his car, so I hope you've been following along on Andrew's channel, Grease Rookie Garage. Yes, great news. Let's see. Len Ekema. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're here, Len. We've had a lot of responses to your video. And as I mentioned, we talked about it briefly. I responded to one of the questions about the oil canning effect. And there is, you can shrink and stretch metal and do a lot of different things. Sometimes you can't. In my opinion, it gets too far. And as I mentioned, I've done it before where I had a serious oil can situation. I just split it in the middle, brought the pieces back together, eliminated that oil can, tacked it back together, and made it nice. So I think you've got some good input from people on that video. Rusty's Mustang Garage. Glad your family is doing better. Yes, me too. Let's see. 68 Stang. Reese, how much longer till Jade is on the road? That's a good question. It's getting closer and closer and closer. I'm knocking out a lot of little things. Now, I'm not filming everything. I'd like to, but there's a lot of little things. You might see over my shoulder here. There's a little smiley face. I found that in the car when I cleaned out the inside, got all the junk on the inside of the car, and I found that little smiley face, air freshener. But if you see, there's some sanding marks here, and maybe you can see there's a little piece of tape. I've been going over just minor stuff, like this little bracket, cleaning it up, getting it ready. I'm making a video on this, the upper valance / rock guard, whatever you want to label it. So I'm in the middle of a video for this, just, minor things that need to be addressed. I think I have probably 96% of the bodywork done that I need to address. But what I was pointing to over there, that is where I found some imperfections in the primer, blocking that out. And where the tape is there, it's hard to point backwards and do this. Where the tape is, those are little areas that I found that may have a little chip or a little indent or something that needs to be addressed. I've started taking care of those. So those little details that need to be taken care of before it can be I'm going to put another coat of primer on it, but I need to take care of all those little things. Like you can probably see they're, working on the transition for the door and the fender, making sure that's good. So just combinations of little things that need to take place. Now, I would like to, if I can pull it off, I would like to have it in paint by the end of this month. A lot of variables in there. The weather has to be right. I don't want to paint when I'm not going to paint when it's high humidity, rain and stuff, or if the temperatures aren't right. So there's some things that may come into play. However, there's no reason I can't get everything in primer and have it, ready to go very soon. So good question. I want to have it ready this spring for one of our local cruise-ins. That's my goal, is to have it all together and drivable and get it to one of the local cruise-ins. So anyway, Octagon. Hi from Rogersville. I guess Missouri's MO is Missouri, right? I believe that's right. I don't know what else it would be. Rick, glad to hear that your family is doing well. My wife is getting over COVID-19. The rest of us all tested negative. Well, good to hear that. Earl, hi, Barry. I see Jade and Iron Man. What's next for Jade, and when will we see a vid? Okay. Well, I kind of just answered that. The next video is going to be working on this little, rock guard balance thing. And then from there, I may address some of the other stuff that I've kind of had hanging, let's say. Like, I want to put the AC box onto the dash. I'm going to cut the windshield out because the gasket's no good and the windshield has to come out anyway. But I want to cut the windshield out, pull out the dash pad, take off or detrim the dash, get some paint on it. I want to get that painted and done. I want to paint the interior panels and get those done. The doors are already painted, but I want to get the back panels done. So there's some of that stuff that needs to take place as well. And that may be where I'm at, because there's not much more to show on bodywork stuff other than I may do a video on repriming it, just to show it. But we'll see what happens. Chris, Capri is a British model. Huh. Well, they sold Capris here in the States too. I think early 70s they had a Capri, but it was called the Capri. It wasn't a Comet. It wasn't, it was a Mercury Capri. I had one it was an 83 model 83 model that I drove for a while, but I love those little early 70s Capri, just a real smooth looking little car. But I'm assuming maybe, so the Capri, would that be comparable to the Comet, or is that name for, British, is it like Mercury Comet or Mercury Capri, or Comet you know what I mean? What name did not cross over? Because we run into that all the time. BK Woods, my 66 is a Comet Cyclone GT. Wow, that's cool. Roger Martin, hey Barry from Dallas Fort Worth. Thanks for all your videos. They're helping me restore my 71 Bronco. Good to hear. At some point, maybe I'll get a Bronco in here. Maybe. Winged Warriors checking in. We had a question about spraying enamel paint and clear coating. And I was mentioning you because that's what you did to your car. Andrew, yep, you're welcome. Arthur Woodward, happy New Year, rebuilding my first Quadra junk. Oh, yeah. That's never really fun. Wally, good evening, everyone. Glad you're here. Darren Powell, morning bear from South Australia. Beautiful 74 degrees here today. Well, I wouldn't mind checking that out. I would like to visit Australia. I hear it's, can be really nice. Chris, my old man ordered a Capri, never came across the ocean fast in 1973. V6 go 115 miles an hour. Cool. Len, IDE. Did I miss something, Len? Oh, maybe that's I would. Okay, here it is. I'd like to thank everyone for the input on my video. Great ideas from all. Thanks again, Barry, for posting it. You're welcome. I'm happy to share those viewer project videos. It's not only honestly content for the channel, but it's also content for people to look at and go, well, look, he's doing that. I can do that too. It's not just me, doing stuff in my garage and people watching or, experiencing that. There's lots of people doing things, and it's nice to share those bits of information and, keep people thinking, hey, he's doing it. I can do it too. Because you can. I feel like if I see somebody else doing something, then there's no reason I can't do it. That's just why I operate. Harvey, it's a race between Tina, the Iron 6, and Jade to see who has finished first. Maybe we can do the Ford 1, 2, 3 finish like Le Mans. That would be cool. That would be interesting. I think maybe you're in a lead, Harvey. Because yours, I think you're in the lead, but we'll find out. David Willis, do you do your own upholstery work? I've done it. I've recovered seats, put the panels on. In this case, if you go back to the first video for Jade, I point out that the seats were freshly recovered right before I got it. The seats are ready to go, and they've been sitting in my little storage shed outside here, waiting. So the seats are ready to go. And other than that, I have new door panels. I have a new headliner to go in it. That reminds me. Oh, I need to write that down. I was going through the mental checklist, sort of what I need for the car. And that just reminded me, because I need the windlace that holds the headliner in. I put down that I needed a interior light, but that reminded me. Good observation. Thank you for that. I need to order the windlace, so I have that as well. Glad I haven't placed that order yet. Rusty's Mustang Garage, can't wait to see Jade on the road. You and me both. You and me both. And that's something else I'll probably talk about here as we go along, but we'll look at more of these comments. Chris, Capris were available at some dealerships, but you had to be patient. Okay. Well, I remember at my dad's junkyard, we had 2 or 3 of them, the old Capris, like I said, the 70s kind of rounded off ones. And there's a gentleman that follows me on YouTube. I don't have a link to he's an artist. He's like a graphic design artist, and he has sent me some images, and he draws up this stuff. I have it saved on my other computer. but he does drawings like that. And one of his favorite cars is a Capri. I think I even follow him. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. Gosh, I can't remember the name at the moment. But anyway, he does some really cool drawings. So, Len, I'm actually thinking of removing the drip rail, going with the shaved look. Has anybody done that? I have not, but I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure there's probably mixed opinions on that. We look at those drip rails, and yes, it's an original to the car. I'm a fan of drip rails myself, just because it's there. It was part of the car. Now, the reality is, how often are you going to drive these things in the rain again? That's the purpose of the drip rails: keep the rain out of the car, out of the glass, and stuff like that. So I can't say that I'm against removing the drip rail. Some cars look really slick without it, but there's people that have done it. I just haven't. Robert checking in. Robert, I want to know. We mentioned, and you mentioned in your video that you were going to go out and skip your GoPro. So how many skips you got with the GoPro? Because I know you were having frustrations with your GoPro. At least I think. I got a subtle hint that you were frustrated with your GoPro from your last video, or last video I watched anyway. So I wondered if you got a certain number of skips with the GoPro. My wife was actually chuckling at that. She's watching it. She usually doesn't watch any videos that I watch, and she happened to walk by and heard you commenting about your camera problems and how you're going to throw this GoPro away, and she was just giggling. So you got her watching and you got her laughing. That's something. Give you a belt for that. Chris, Comet was U.S. model. Capri was a European model. I believe the later gens were built in the States after the British success. Okay. That makes sense. Nick, I was going to French mine in, I was going to French mine in, so you still had the body line, but if you ever do get caught in the rain, you're really going to regret shaving the rails, though. So I'm keeping mine now, personally. Yeah, now that's what I'm saying. It's these cars aren't going to be out, shouldn't be out, in the rain, honestly, but they do. People, I've taken my Model A out a couple times and gone to a car show or something that was 20, 30 miles away, and just storm comes in, drops on us. And let me tell you, you don't want to really drive a Model A in the rain. But I had no choice. I don't have wipers on it. They're supposed to have a one wiper in front of the driver. I don't have it. And it's not watertight by any means. So, you're driving down the road and just water's just coming in and hitting you in the legs and on the floor. And anyway, so I'm not a fan of being in the rain with a classic car. Winged Warrior, I used Omni MTK single stage urethane as my base color, which has clear already in it, and then put a couple coats of Omni clear over it. No enamel. Okay, so that answers that question. It wasn't enamel, it was urethane. Okay, because the question was about enamel. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember which way you went on that. So thank you for that. Chris, Barry, is lowering a seat pan something for a novice welder? Any thoughts on use the pre-made lowered seat pans versus lowering what you got? Well, let me think about that a minute. I know that they make, obviously they make pans that are already, they make them shorter. I think, or is it the Cougar pan or something? One of the pans you can just put in. I can't say that it's that difficult probably to shorten one, but you have to consider the angles, because that the box is not square. So you've already got a taper on each end. And if you cut out a section in between those two tapers, you have to move one, or probably move both angles so that you can get them together, because when you cut that out, the upper one will have to come up and, or vice versa. But anyway, those angles were going to change. So if you shorten that material, it's going to want to sit and have a gap. So just think about that. Now, if you took a hammer and dolly and reshaped that angle on those two flanges, probably not that difficult. Just make sure your lines are straight, and so you end up with a level seat when you're done. Bad Harry, hi all from hibernating Harry's hideaway. I'm going to Australia too. Well, let me know when. We'll go together and we'll hook up with various people here on the live stream. Winged Warrior, hey Len, I really enjoyed your video. Thanks for sharing. Yes. Darren Powell, there was a Ford Piranha. Is that how you say that? Piranha, which was an early model British Capri fitted with a 302 Windsor. I will email you the link to the page and some photos. That sounds cool. Yeah. Let me see if those. Okay. Let me see what this. That's okay. That's from Derek. Wait a minute. What did Robert send me? Oh wow. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna download that real quick. I'm just gonna download that, Robert. I think that's pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. We're gonna share that if you don't mind. I think it's a good thing to share. So let me get that from the inventory of photos, because that's something I would not have even considered, and I'll show you in a minute what we're talking about. See if that downloads properly. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Robert, I might have had a slight issue with the GoPro. I'm not sure I mentioned it though. Yeah, I'm not sure you mentioned it. Let's see. Pedro. Hi, Barry. Have a nice 2021. I hope you're okay. Cheers from Portugal. Yes, we're doing fine. My wife and I tested negative. Our daughter is recovering. No severe symptoms for her, thankfully. So hope you have a happy New Year as well, Pedro. It's just me. Need a drip rail. Had a 87 Regal with T-tops and was annoying to have water dripping in the interior on rainy days. Yeah, I could see that. Oh boy. Okay, we got a bunch of comments. Chris, keeping all the trim on my car because Trans Ams didn't have the body chrome molding, had decals instead. Yes. Bob Shoemaker, the 1973 2.6 V6 Capri was a German-built car. I'll take your word for it and give you a bell, because I don't know. But that sounds pretty interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Chris, T-top sucked in any vehicle. Yeah, pretty much. Terry Baptist, hello from Pinellas Park, Florida. Nick, the Cougar pan is 1 inch lower, and a 69 pan is 1/2 inch lower than 68 and back. Thank you, Nick. So there's some advice on welding in the pan, and he says, and both go right in. So that's probably the easiest option. Just buy the Cougar pan and get it in place, and not have to worry about cutting anything and welding and fitting, and So that sounds good. Roger, my 84 Z28 T-tops do the same thing. I have to agree, Chris. They look good on sunny days when you have them out. Yep. Marshall, I cut my seat riser, had to take 3 portions out, front and rear shortening in the middle to make up for coming down trans tunnel. So there is some work involved doing that conversion or doing that modification to your seat riser. So get the Cougar one and be done with it. Cougar Lev, every time I drive in the rain, I think of the time my dad replaced the wiper motor on a 66 and wired it to the first hot wire he found, the dome light. Had to crack the door every minute or so. That's pretty cool. That would be, better than hooking it to the horn though, right? See, you had to blow the horn to run the wipers. That's pretty funny. I actually had a situation, I think, where the wiper, something died, and we did that trick where you rig up 2 ropes and we're pulling the wipers back and forth. Winged Warrior, I wanted lowered seat risers for a Cougar, but they were in back order forever. Ended up using regular ones and adding seat track extenders on driver's side. So there's another option that may work. The seat track extender allows your seat to be back further, which technically allows it to be lower in a sense. So that's a good option. Chris, Capri, it was made in Europe. Here you had to have them shipped to the Lincoln Mercury dealer. My dad waited 6 months in 72, bought a 73 Comet GT302 3 weeks before it arrived, tired of waiting. Yep. Ronald Bell. Hey, Barry. Ron checking in from Tri-Cities in Northeast Tennessee. I was going to ask you, Ron, did you get those pictures I sent you? We exchanged some information earlier in the week, and we just want to know if you got those pictures that I sent. So I didn't get a response back. No big deal, but I just was checking. Robert, the easy way to use the Cougar pans, don't move them back as the seat pans are structural. They support the rear of the front frame rails. Good point. Good point. 64 half Stang. How do you feel about replacing outer door skins on a 65 Stang? Worth the trouble. Let me tell you, I know somebody that's doing that right now. And from what I've seen and what he's shown, it's a good idea. So go to the Infernal Craftsman right here. Go to his channel. He's got some information on that. And from what I understand, it was a good idea. It was a good idea. And also Harvey. Harvey did that on his 68. So I think it sounds like everything went smooth for both of them, from what I'm gathering. So that would be your choice there. Well, Harvey doesn't have a channel. He does have an Instagram, so Rally Cat Garage. So you want to check those out. But that may be some good information for you. Dave Conville checking in. Dave sent me some pictures earlier of a Studebaker 37 pickup. Coupe Express. That was pretty cool. Bad Harry, anyone know where to get good waterproof fuse breaker panel for 50 amp and lower? Waterproof? I don't. So if anybody has any advice for Bad Harry, let him know. Robert, the file for that gauge bezel is made up by a guy in the Mustang forums and available on Thingiverse for download. Okay, this is what we're talking about. Robert had mentioned he has a 3D printer, which I think I want to try to get with you, Robert, and we'll see if we can't make up a Joe Daddy something to put in the grill of Jade. I think that would look pretty cool. So this is what he's done. And this is a 3D printed gauge bezel. Now, obviously, it's not a complete, I don't know if there's more, if this is just an experiment or what, but that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I mean, I would not have even thought about that idea, but that gives you really a custom look. And you're saying that it's available on Thingiverse for download. So that's a pretty cool idea. Marshall, felt like I had to lower mine. Fastback gets shorter on the interior as opposed to a coupe. I'm 6'3", so I felt like I'd lower the driver's side. It's doable. Lots of grinding and welding. Enjoy. Yeah. I've debated on that briefly, but honestly, I'm 5'10", so I'm probably fine with these seats the way they are. And if my wife was going to actually drive this car, which was the thought, I would probably have to raise the seat, for her to be able to drive it and move it forward and shorten the steering column. And, her legs are this long. So she's only 5'1". So it's kind of tougher. Even like our regular vehicles, we usually get ones that you can adjust the pedals, to help her out. But yeah, I don't want to move mine. Pete Brown, the 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder that sat for 38 years, fired and ran today. Awesome. That is good news. That's good news. Robert, door skins are easy to do. They fit very well. There you go. Terry Baptist, isn't it odd that tall people fit in muscle cars? Odd that they do, or odd that they don't? Winged Warrior, try multitasking tonight. So also cleaning stainless trim for drip rails with steel wool. Why not, right? Getting okay at Hammer and Dolly, fitting, sanding, and polishing original trim. Patience. Good. That sounds like a lot of fun. Not really. That's probably would be the hardest thing for me to do is like be patient with stainless steel and stuff like that. Just not really in my wheelhouse, let's say. But there we go. Terry Baptist saying, isn't it odd that tall people don't fit in muscle cars? Yeah. Well, we've been eating better over the years, right? If you go back through time, our food choices were limited, and as time goes on, we've gotten more better, food and pumped up with antibiotics and steroids. So we've all gotten bigger and bigger, right? Isn't that how it works? So we've all grown since, in 50 years, we've all gotten a little bit taller, whatever. Oh, okay, Ron, thank you. Michael Law checking in from the Sunshine State. Cool. Glad you're here. Getting a coffee. Okay. Derek Pro, that's funny. I could visualize that. Good comedy set for someone like Kramer on Seinfeld. Yeah, that would be good. Or Mr. Bean. Yeah, Mr. Bean. That would be good. Wait a minute. Well, who sent me the Wait a minute. Who sent me the? Oh, sorry, Dave. It was another Dave. I just saw the Dave, and I know you sent me some cool stuff. So I defaulted when I saw Dave, and I realized, and I just checked. It's Dave Britton. There's a lot of Daves out there. So sorry. I take back the bell. If I give you a bell, you don't get that. It goes to Dave Britton. David Willis. My window gaskets were bad and went through a car wash. I got cleaner than the car did. Yeah, that's not fun. Chris could reproduce hard to find parts of plastic trim could reproduce hard to find parts of plastic trim be an industry? Yes. Well, I mean, there's options for that. People are doing that sort of stuff. Even the high dollar, shops now, they're 3D printing a lot of stuff, trim pieces and different things. So yeah, that option has really expanded what we can do now. Cooter Love, I lost my dad in 93. I almost went to wire the motor back to the dome light just for sentimental value. Yeah. Hey, Dad. Well, it wouldn't be unless no water. If you just open it up, wiper squeak. Robert, the printer isn't big enough to do it in one piece. Gives you 6 gauges and a spot for a tack next to the Speedo. Have to print them in carbon fiber for it to hold up to the heat. This is a test fit. That's pretty cool, though. That is pretty cool. Winged Warrior, junkyard footage. It's apparently pronounced Stu D. Baker. I was familiar with Stu Da Baker. Now I don't know what to say. Stu D. Baker. Stu D Baker. I guess whatever works. Chris, well, it was assumed they would go with mid-sized cars. I love those 71 and 73 Chargers and Roadrunners. That's true. They were changing the size of the cars. Jerry, if you need a weatherproof panel, they are available at Lowe's or any big box store, electrical wholesale. If you mean IP67, then it's big bucks. So what is the application? You lost me there. What are we talking about? Weatherproof panel? Available at Lowe's or any big box store, electrical wholesaler. I mean, oh, you're talking about the fuse panel. Sorry. I think that's what you're referring to. So I'm at a loss on that right now. I don't. Pedro, what was the worst mistake you have done while fixing a car? Worst mistake. That's a tough question. Worst mistake. Gosh, I don't really know. I don't know anything that like pops into my head that I regret doing because, yeah, I would venture to say I'd have to go back to when I was like 16. No, actually, I'm younger than that. I think it was maybe 14 or 15. Yeah, because I rebuilt a little Datsun pickup. It was I forget what year, 78. Had a blown engine in it. It was one of my dad's trucks that I tried to fix up, and nobody was helping me. My brother and my dad didn't help me at all. I had a blown engine, so I had to pull an engine out of a Datsun little sedan, and I put when I went to put everything together, I think the first time I did it, I put the throwout bearing in backwards or something, and so after putting it all together and connecting everything. I had to take everything back apart and switch the throwout bearing. And then I put it all back together, and there was something else. I don't remember what it was now. Something else was wrong. So I had to pull the engine back out again, but it was one of those things where by doing that, I learned to not just take it for granted, when I'm doing something. So that's why I'm saying test fit things or whatever. Verify things are going to work together prior to moving forward. That's one of the big deals, like with the Brooklyn Pony, trying to take all these aftermarket pieces, that are various manufacturers, and trying to compensate and reshape and build and transfer this and do that. There's tons of things that can go wrong. I had a conversation with earlier in the week with Winged Warrior, who's had some issues in that manner because of a brake booster that's too big for his clutch cable and stuff like that. So that would probably be my default answer that I can think of. I really haven't. I mean, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. I'm not trying to, but I've just done a lot of. I think about things a lot, even when I'm not working on stuff. My head is constantly thinking about processes, different ways to do things and improve things. And so that would have to be my default answer, the 78 Datsun pickup. So unless I come up with something else, we'll see. Chris, when I gifted my dad, a Firebird, he hit his head on the way down. Hasn't hit it since muscle memory, he says. He hit his head on the way down. Firebird. I'm not sure where you're at there, Chris. He hit his head on the way down, like into the car? Is that what you're saying? Terry, have you heard of Piranha concept car from the movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? No, I have not. Derek Pro, the new Mustangs and Camaros, the front seating area is great, all the new tech, etc., but only tiny children can fit in the back seats. The old classics at least had 4 adults get in. Yeah, that's true. I've looked at those cars. I drove a 2019 SS Camaro. What a hot rod that was. I mean, really. But yeah, the back seat, you may as well just throw a gym bag back there and be done with it. You're not going to put people there. Chris, my 7-cylinder Firebird might as well be designed as a 2-seat sports car. Good luck getting comfy in the back seat, passenger seat at the age of 13. Yeah, that is true. Hindsight, Roger, Derek, only little people fit in the 3rd generation Camaros too, unless they can fold up like a pocket knife. Yes. Dave, meant to tell you love the junkyard video. Does the supercharged Studi still exist? If so, it's worthy of being salvaged. Apologies if this was covered before. It does exist. It's at my brother's place up in Kentucky, and it's pretty rough, but it's not original. It's not an original supercharged car. That engine, let me think how that worked. Because we had all kinds of stuff up there at the junkyard. So my brother had taken the supercharger off of something, I don't remember what, and put it on that Studebaker. Well, at one time that car was all painted up red, looked really sharp, and he drove it in high school or whatever and stuff. But it's been sitting for years and years. I kind of wish he would just say, "Hey, why don't you take this car and rebuild it? Just keep it." I kind of would like him to say that. I know he won't, but he's thought about just like getting it running and like rat rod it, because he doesn't have time. He doesn't have the patience. He doesn't do body work. He can turn a mean wrench. He can fix just about anything mechanical, but he can't. He's not nowhere near in the body realm. Jerry, my worst mistake was taking on the resto because the project doesn't show you what has to be done. Yeah, I can't argue that. It doesn't show you. You have to learn. Chris, I'm 6'1". Front seats are fine. Back seats suck. Yep. Jerry, and the owner didn't have a budget and always argued about the labor charges. Yeah. Now, are you talking about you're talking about your resto, or did you didn't take on that other resto, did you, Jerry? Or are you talking about your resto? Because if it is, that's pretty funny. Wayne Warrior, hey Barry, feel free to give me digs on a mistake. I just figured out my headlight buckets. Good heads up for others so they don't repeat. Yeah, I think I got you on the cable, but I didn't bring up the headlight buckets. But let me bring that up since you brought it up. If you're putting in your headlight buckets, make sure all the hardware is in there. All the plates that hold the screws and everything else before you put it on the car. It'd be a lot easier to access it when it's off the car. So think about that. That's for the, any of them. Make sure you have your headlight bucket stuff in place before you move on. Chris, into the car a long way down, he says. Okay, so he hit his head on the way in. I got you. Hindsight, LOL. Yep. Kuderlev, love the Studebaker mail trucks in the video. Hope it didn't go to the crusher. They're all gone. There's a couple of Studebakers still there. Early on in the video, I think I point out there's a 40. It's like a burgundy red 40 Commander. I know that's still there. The Speedster is still there. The 55 Speedster is still there. I think there's a 50, maybe another 55 Commander. And then the Lark convertible might still be there. And maybe a truck or two, but that's really all that's left. Everything else is long gone, unfortunately. Nick, worst mistake was breaking all the lugs off my 69 Roadrunner driver hub because I didn't know at the time that driver's side was left-handed thread. Then old man Abe came in and schooled me, made fun of. Yeah, old man Abel came in and schooled me. Yeah, that was one thing I had to learn at the junkyard. Every time, we took a Mopar apart, backwards threads, and it really made no sense at all. It really made no sense for them to do that. I they were thinking that rotation of the wheel, the lug nuts won't come off because they're spinning, just a really crazy thought. And it's like, who did that? Why did they even think that was a good idea? Derek, a trip to your brother's as a field trip episode would be great idea. Yeah. You're talking about the junkyard, I assume. I did shoot. I don't know if I thought I shot a video. I may have. I don't remember if I shot another video later on with nothing there. However, there is one car that I've talked about it before. It's a 64 special order Daytona that it's a unique car. It's an R1 package, so it has a performance engine without a supercharger. It has the automatic transmission, the big posi traction rear end, power brakes, power steering. I think it has air conditioning, and it's a 4-door with bucket seats. Now, the story on that car was I actually have the build codes on it. It sounds like it was a dealer ordered car to show customers, like, this is how you can get this thing, right? Really unique car. And I have the build sheet on it. I have the all the information on that car. I've ordered it from the Studebaker Museum. And the car right now is just basically, it's almost sunk into the ground. Now, my brother and I had a conversation a year or so ago that he would like to do a video of starting it up. Like, don't move it. Because if you try to move this car, it's literally going to fall apart. There's nothing holding it together but rust. So he had this idea of just sitting there, working on it for a period of time and firing it up, which I still may do. Ideally, I would love to reproduce that car. Let's say, take the all the important stuff out of it and put it in another good body, another 4-door Studebaker, and just clone it, and identify it as, hey, this is not the original. This is what it was supposed to be. I would love to do that. I think it would be a pretty amazing build, but it's not worth a ton of money either. That's the difficulty. So, if you look at the idea of buying a 4-door Studebaker that's in great shape, and then rebuilding all of those components to transfer over. The end result is you have a car that's worth, I think I found one of those. It was actually for sale in Europe for like $13,000, which is unfortunate, but it would be a neat idea to fire it up and see what happens there. And the story on that car is a junkyard story. So where I think was a Cooter, right? Junkyard story. Okay. So that car, it was one of my dad's favorite hot rod Studebakers. So here he is. He's driving it, and my mom is in the passenger seat. My 3 siblings are in the back seat, and I'm on the center console, because safety and all. That's how you did it. That's how you drove around in the 70s. You put your toddler, your littlest one on the center console right behind the stick shift. That's just how you did it, because that's safety. So anyway, the story goes, and I've heard my dad, my mom, and my brother corroborate, I think it's the word. The story that my dad was driving down the road doing like 50 miles an hour or something, and I was fussing around in the center, and I somehow managed to kick the shifter out of drive and kicked it into reverse. The story is that the car, the tires were squealing because he had his foot on the gas the whole time, and the back wheels, because it had a posi in it. I mean, this is a posi traction car. So the rear tires are trying to go backwards as he's going forwards. And he reaches over and bam, slams into drive, and he stomps the gas. Well, the tires were squealing going backwards initially and slowed down, obviously. And then boom, they broke loose going forward. Well, I mean, we're already going down a road, and it broke loose, chirped the tires or whatever. And so that was a story on that car. So, but it's been sitting. It's not going anywhere. Clark, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that very much. Let me tell you, since Clark has done that, we've talked about, I've shown on my video, the end of the year video, the numbers for YouTube, right? And where things are going monetarily. I've had a bunch of people join me on Patreon, which is awesome. That is fantastic. But the month of December will be my best month. And a lot of that is because of super stickers or super chats that people put on here. The cycle generally runs, I've been, right around 2,000. I've showed the images of my monthly numbers. And so I think for the month of December, I had like 3 weeks of super chats or super stickers. I think it finished out December like, well, what was it at? I can actually tell you what it was. I finished out December. Hang on a second. December finishes out at 2533, and it points out specifically that is $533 more than normal. So for the month of November, I was at 1873, and then for December, it predicted I would be at 2,000. So 2533. So thank everybody who's thrown in on the super chats and that sort of thing. That has really helped. That's made it a good December for me. So thank you for that. Let me get back on to where we were at here. Sorry, that just popped up, and I was wanting to make sure I thank people for that. Terry, I will bet there was a lot more going on in the back than just sitting back. Len, hey, all you 67, 68 Mustang guys, what is the biggest tire that can put on the rear of a 15 with a 15 by 8 rim? So 15 by 8 on a 68 Mustang. So let's if anybody has any good input on that. Okay, so Jerry, you were talking about your project and the owner and the budget. Okay. Chris, I love the midsize cars. I have the goal of having a garage. Like the sales room 71, 72. I like the other cars. Leave me alone. Well, Chris, the thing is, there's other people that like the ugly cars too, and that's okay because ugly cars can still get you home, still show up at the cruise in and turn heads. So that's okay. Ken Higginbotham. Hey, Barry, worked at TOC and visited you a couple times in the shop. Any chance I can swing by sometime? Yeah, there is a chance. Send me an email. Joe Daddy's Garage. Let's see, Joe Daddy's Garage at gmail.com. I remember you, Ken. Yeah, I think I remember. You had the, what was it, a Fairlane? I think it was a Fairlane, right? That was pretty rusty and almost like split in half. I think it was a Fairlane. So anyway, yeah, send me an email and we'll talk from there. All right, let's get up here. Okay, so Jerry says it wasn't clear. Leonard, wish that 58 Ford was still around. Yeah, there's a lot of those cars. And, here's the thing, too. That's only the cars of 1992. I grew up with cars in the 50s that my dad had, 50s and 60s. And, I can't tell you how many got crushed or run over with the tank. You saw the tank. Everybody saw the tank. So, running over the cars with the tank, and we used to have a crusher come up every so often and just crush. I remember piles of engines because the crusher would show up, put a fork in the front end of the car, pry the engine and transmission out. And I remember this huge pile of, engines. And looking back on that, I know there were some really valuable engines just set aside and let sit. Derek Pro, yes, looking at the Studi and Daytona, etc. Yes. Okay. Dave, I had 53 Willys pickup for a bit. I learned the hard way that it also had reverse threaded lugs. Yep. Yeah, not a good idea. Kuderlev witnessed my cousin blow a sprint car motor because he missed a piece of the previous filter gasket stuck to the block. Does not take long to pick out all of your oil at high RPM. Yes, that is very true and unfortunate. David Sherrill, hello, Barry. I'm sorry I'm late. Just me. David went back to work. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. I see you sent me a message. I'm not sure what we'll have to get on the same page here in a minute. Renegade's Garage checking in. Cool. Chris, there's a list of all the cars that Chris wants. Michael, 9 Golden Dragon. Hi, everyone. Right in line, brother. Jack W. Hope all is well. Yes. So far, so good. Greg Workshop checking in from Australia. Or Greg's Workshop. Chris Greenaway, because when's the last time you seen a 72 Roadrunner? You know what? I have pictures somewhere. I'm not a Roadrunner, but one of my brother's stock cars. The first stock car my brother built was a 66 Belvedere or Satellite, which I like the 67. That's one of my favorite cars. And honestly, the 67 Belvedere reminds me a bit of Len's 65 Comet. The body lines are very straight. The roof pillars are small on the back. But I had a 67 Belvedere. I showed it in the video. But my brother's first stock car was a 66 Belvedere or Satellite. And then the second one was a Plymouth Sebring Plus, which is almost the same as the Roadrunner in that, that time period, whatever. Now, 72, I think it's what it was, 72, because 72, okay, I don't know what year that transition was, because it was the bulkier, shorter looking Plymouth, not the long, swoopy one. Revstoration. Good evening, Barry. Glad you're here. 64 half staying. Early in my 36 years as a mechanic, I got a good engine fire going using carb cleaner to find a vacuum leak. Yeah, I have had those issues as well. I need some help with the riffraff jumping in here. So, let me see if I can just boomsy. All right, got rid of the riffraff. Yeah, we're 117 viewing right now. That's pretty cool. Let's see. FE 428 power. Good evening, everyone. Clark, happy Monday for Michael. Yes. From Michael 9 Golden Dragon. Robert, my uncle had a Roadrunner and a Super B that he drag raced, and he got married, and the wife made him sell them. Now she sees the values of them and apologizes at every car show. Oh, David and Cheryl, $10. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me go back up here. Let's see. Car Guy Troy checking in. Like the guy's Mercury Comet Cyclone video you put on the other day. Cool car. Yes. Very cool car. Those cars almost, they can't be, I can't see them as stock, with stock size wheels and tires. I like to see that car with big, fat tires underneath it, a little bit of a rake on it. Just that looks like a mean car coming at you down the road. Terry Baptist, JMR Rebuilders doing a Crown Vic front suspension. I've seen people using the Crown Vic setup. Not really thought about it on anything I've done. Swap on a 95 F-150. Okay, that's cool. Derek, that would be awesome doing first start, etc. Maybe Chris Bird and the guy in Georgia that has all the Mopar bits can help you with the build on that. That is a fantastic story. Yeah, the Studi. Yeah, it's a cool car. Yeah, 420 power. Thank you for that. 255. Missed that. Grease Rookie, we've hit 100 people. Let's give this video a thumbs up. That's an easy way to help out. That is true. Thank you, Andrew. Gonzo saying a 60 series tire on the 15x8, I believe. King Higginbotham. Comet. Okay, so I was close. I was close. But yeah, send me an email. We'll talk. Derek Pro, 225/60, maybe, if everything else is standard. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Will Goodman checking in late to the party. Good evening. Glad you're here. Let's see. Gonzo, 60s fit all around. A 73 Duster I had, no rubbing. So we're talking, Michael's talking, are you talking tire size, Michael? 555? You got 255, 555. Okay. There we go. FE 428, 255 on the rear, 235 up front. On one of my 6.7 Cougars, I'm running 235 4017 front and blah, 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 blah. A lot of numbers there. I'll just skip over that. Sorry. Mondo Flores, what size wheels and tires do you have on Jade? I've had that question before, and I don't know if I have saved the pictures that I had taken. I think I had them at one point in my file on the side here, but I think they're gone. So I could tell you the rear is 17x9, and the front is 17x8. I don't know if I can see the numbers real quick since I'm here. Where's it at? The rear is 255/40 ZR17. Yeah, 255/40 ZR17. And the fronts are 235/40 ZR17. So 255 and 235. Now you know. Let's see. Hold on. 73 Roadrunner would have been the Sebring Plus with the headlights in bezels. Yep, that makes sense. I like that car. That was a sharp car, in my opinion. Chris. Okay. Blasphemy time. Any thoughts on how you'd retrofit in a double din nav unit fab something up to go into the radio slot, but curious if AC vents would be rerouted below and adjust that area. I don't have any thoughts on that. Anybody else have any thoughts on putting in the double DIN nav unit? Because I really haven't thought about that much. I mean, I want to put something like that in Jade, but I'm not sure. But I don't have a good answer for you. Sorry. Well, okay, here we go. Cooter. In addition to junkyard stories, you should have a shop safety Darwin story segment to talk about the dumb stuff. We have seen others too. You know, I've seen plenty. One of the probably the most recent thing that shocked me, pun here, shocked me, was a friend of mine who was trying to work on his, I think, a lawnmower. And he's not really a mechanic. He's just somebody. And he was trying to change the battery on his lawnmower. And he, you don't see any rings on my fingers, right? No. You'll see my tattooed wedding ring. But he was wearing his wedding ring. Gold, right? Greatest conductor we have. And he was trying to take loose the battery. And he had put the whatever hit a long wrench. And so he had grabbed it and was either tightening. I can't remember which the scenario was, but he pushed down and the battery contacted his ring. He had a cooked finger. He sent me pictures. That was ugly. And all it was just not paying attention, and boom, arced, fried his finger, man. He doesn't need a ring anymore. I can tell you that. He's got a permanent scar around there. Dave and Cheryl, big thumbs up. Yes, don't forget. Give you a bell for that. Chris Greenaway, I love the Mercury Comet Cyclone, but would build it like the AFX drag cars. That could be interesting. Oh, here we go. BK Woods. Thank you, man. Getting ready to do my Comet seats. Any tips or sites to recommend? I've watched a few videos, and it looks pretty cut and dry. There are new seat covers from Distinctive Industries. Well, just be prepared. I know you got to have the hog ring pliers and hog rings and all that stuff. But it'll wear your hands out, even though it doesn't look very complicated. You're gonna have to be, keep your hands, because I know I've had issues with my hands over the years. So just know you're going to be stretching and pulling and prying and all that sort of thing. But otherwise, I'm assuming you're going to put in maybe new foam, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's about the most I can tell you is have, good hog ring pliers and plenty of hog rings, all that sort of thing. And I'm sure it'll come with a kit, or it should come with a kit. Robert, it has been done. You can also get a unit. There's a separate screen that would cover the radio area and not require dash cutting. Talking about the double DIN setup. Okay. They flip down or detachable hangs down. Okay. Car Guy Troy, I like the stock look the most nowadays. Like them all really, but there's so many resto mods out, and about it's cool to see them put back the way they were. Yeah, it is. I can't argue that either. And that's where I've had some people, not that it really matters. I had somebody make a comment on one of my videos, and they saw the wheels I have on Jade, and they're like, "Why does everybody put those same wheels on every Mustang?" I'm like, "Why do you care?" I mean, but for me, it still sits. It's got a nice height to it, a nice ride height. I'm not planning on lowering the car anymore. But I just couldn't put the regular wheels on it. I just don't like the, skinny wheels and stuff like that. But I do like the ones that are, like the Mopars and stuff in the early 60s, where they had to drag, the performance cars. Let's say you get something like a, what was it? Plymouth, I want to say Coronet, but you could get it with a Hemi engine in it, and you could order it as a sleeper car. So it had, dog dish wheels or hubcaps on it, and those are really cool. You get something looks like it's just a plain old, grandma's car or something, and it's got these dog dish hubcaps on it, and just clean and smooth. But you open the hood, and it's got this elephant motor under the hood. So there's a place for all of them. But yeah, I get you on that. I do like the certain ones that look and stay stock. Okay, so that's more on that. Gordon, don't forget to get an alignment done before driving. Yes. Good call. 428, 393 Windsor Stroker, 5-speed, rack and pinion, roller, working on 8.8 rear end. It's got a lot of stuff going on there. That sounds like a fun engine. Let's see, Chris Lambert, that's interesting. I use my 6.7 for daily driving. So some niceties are good for downtown traffic and finding places instead of using the cell phone holder. Yeah, I understand that. Greg, I got 15 by 9, 265 on the rear and 205 on the front. Thank you, Greg. Wait, we got a bunch of comments. Len, any mods to the rear for those to fit? Okay. 64.5 Mustang. Your videos to replace floors in the 65 Mustang were awesome. When I picked mine up, it was like the Flintstones car, nothing but the ground showing. Yep. Pretty common. Let's see. Bad Harry. There's a YouTube video for making $15 measuring tool out of wood to figure out tire size and trim A-Rob's garage. So there you go. You could look that up, and maybe that'll help. Thank you, Bad Harry. Okay, trying to get through the tires and wheels, different sizes on the side. Johnny Crash, good evening. Almost finished my fender repair tonight. Going to have to redo one of the stitch welds due to insufficient penetration. Have to mess with the settings. Well, as long as you're making progress, get it fixed. Ken, can I get BK Woods' contact info? Would like to talk Comet rebuild with him. So BK Woods, I'm not sure how we can pull that off. If you want to send me an email, let's see. Okay. So if you want to send me an email, BK, and then if Ken sends me an email, I can connect the two of you, unless you just want to post it here. Probably not a big deal. Nobody's, but if you want to do it that way, that's fine. So there's my email at the bottom of the screen. Also, if anybody wants to get on the live stream, that's still an option. Just remember that you can be on this live stream with me anytime. Just send me an email and I can send you a link. But Ken wants BK's contact info. So we'll go from there, move forward. So Wing Warrior's talking to Chris about the double din. Okay. Chris is going to keep the seats the same in his Firebird since it's a driver survivor. PBJ, hello, just a quick question regarding mid-engine conversions. Is there a specific type of axle that is most commonly favored when doing a mid-engine swap from front mount? Wow, that's a good question. And I have not done that, so I don't have a good answer. So if anybody can help out PBJ, just a quick question regarding mid-engine conversions. So what kind of vehicle are you talking about? Is there a specific type of axle that is most commonly preferred or favored when doing a mid-engine swap from front mount? Okay, so if anybody has any, we know what might help to, I don't know, maybe it would help if we had some sort of idea what kind of vehicle you were working with. Let's see. In front of Craftsman, Robert, to make the seat covers easier to install, you can use a plastic called silk film. Make sliding the cover over the foam far easier. So there's a good bit of information. A plastic called silk film. I guess it's available somewhere. Maybe Amazon. I don't know. Chris, my opinion, I love the cars look completely stock, interior, body, etc. Modified suspension and motor work. Yeah, that's good. That's good too. Wind Warrior, here's another option. Search for modern stereo system for 6.6 Ford Mustang from Mount Airy. So there's some more information. Harvey, our white 68. Let me see, get over and check this quick. Okay. White 68 has 15x7 torque thrust rims, tire sizes. Okay, so there's some more information. 235 60 15 tires. There is no more room without wheel modifications. We have a 5-leaf rear springs and a 1-inch lift in the back. Okay. Nick, I witnessed a guy sawzall through the fuel line of Oxy fuel torch while another guy was using it. Torch guy was complaining, and the saw guy was holding a flaming hose. I was shutting off bottles. Fun. Yeah. All right. Well, I've talked about that. I have a junkyard story that's related to fuel and explosions and stuff. I think I've talked about it. I know I've talked about it before. Okay, so BK is sharing his email to Ken. So there you go, Ken. If you haven't seen it, it's up right now. And yeah, you can look in the comments and find it. If not, Willie Goodman, are you planning on using a stock headliner or going with something different on Jade? Well, I have a stock headliner kit, so that's all I'm going to use. I wouldn't mind putting in the one piece, but I don't know. I already have the fabric one, and I kind of like the fabric myself. I just like the way it looks with the lines, the ribs holding it up. Just kind of appeals to me. So, Jack, do you need to disassemble the cowl completely or replace the vents, or is it a magic trick that you know? Okay, I've heard of people cutting out the vent from underneath and putting in new pieces. I can't say I'm a fan of that. Years ago, there was a 65 that I did, which I didn't really know the ins and outs of doing these cars. That was one of the first ones I cut. And I actually cut the cowl. I left the center vent section on the cowl, and I cut the cowl off, drilled out the welds, and then repaired the vents, treated the inside, and then welded those sections back on the cowl. But I'm going to say you're probably further ahead to pull it all apart, honestly. You'll probably have mixed results trying to patch it from underneath. I know people have done it, but for your car, I would try to save the upper cowl, carefully drill out those spot welds, get that upper cowl off, and then attack what's underneath and treat it all and get it back in there. But that's why I look at it. Mike's Mustang. I've always used blue icing over my filler and pinholes, then 2K primer and block. My friend uses red putty on pinholes and the cheap primer without hardener. Which method is better? Well, I think you've already answered that. I don't use that red putty stuff. Cheap primer without hardener? No, I'm going to lean towards the better filler and then 2K primer. I'm not a fan of that red putty stuff. I've tried it before and not a fan. So I think that answers that. Chris, the car community is awesome. Can't wait for spring for paint. Yes. Destroyer 1320. Hey, first time caller. Love his channel. Great content. Thank you. Glad you're here. Yeah, we've got 101 on the viewing, so that's pretty cool. And he's saying, smack that like button. Yep, definitely. Let me see what I've got here because I've got some pictures I probably need to download here. Wow, yep, I'm gonna have to see if I can download these. How do I do that? Let me go back. Can I pull those up? Where'd they go? Whoops. No. See if I can. I guess I'll have to just save them because it won't let me directly download. Okay, I'm gonna save a couple of pictures here because I think y'all are gonna like these. Just give me a second. Normally, I can just hit the download button and save them, but it's not giving me that option. That thing's looking good. I know I'm slow. Okay. And that's 1, 2. Yeah. All right. So let me get back over here, and I'm going to try to pull these pictures because these look really good. See if I can see if that worked. Yeah, there we go. Again, I apologize for any delay here, but I need to share these pictures because you guys are going to like these a lot. This was this car we've seen it before on I think you were on the live stream. We talked about it, and let me go back to the email real quick. This is the 66 Comet Cyclone, and this was Paul, and he showed us this car on the live stream, and was going through the information of what he was working on and putting it together. Let me go back up here a second. Okay, so check this out. That was that 66 Comet convertible that we had seen on the live stream, and that is pretty sharp. That is pretty sharp. I like that a lot. Here's a shot of the front end. I love the hood on that. That just looks tough. That looks really tough. And there's the side shot. That's a cool car, man. That thing looks good. That looks really good. All right. Let me get back up here. Winged Warrior, Jack W. I would not recommend cowl vent replacement from the bottom. It's hard enough to look under there, let alone do a good job, and it won't likely be well protected. Yes, I agree. Hey, Mason Fox checking in. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. Jack, looks like a lot of drilling in the future. Yes. Yes. Do it right, and you won't regret it. Let's just put it that way. Dave from New Jersey. Hey, Barry. Sorry I'm joining late. Happy New Year. How's the family? We're all doing fine. I mentioned early in the broadcast, my son and daughter-in-law, they both tested negative for COVID. My wife did not, and I did not get tested, but we are not exhibiting any symptoms whatsoever. And then our daughter is getting better. She's not had any severe symptoms. She had a period with congestion and stuff like that, and then dry sinuses. I don't know, a variety of things that probably very similar to a deep cold. So she's recovering. Thank you for asking, Mason. You sure have a lot of cool old signs in your shop. Do you have old gas station pump or no? I do not have a gas station pump, but I'm accepting donations. Chris, yeah, Firebird will look slick with fresh paint and stickers. Only interior parts I need are the console and back seat console and the steering wheel. Always something. Yep. Chris, anyone have tips for dome light terminals? Mine are so crusty and old they broke when I removed the dome light. Yeah, you're probably going to have to just get a whole new light assembly, I would think. Armando, Let me close out this on the bottom here. Do you recommend just replacing full fender aprons or cutting and welding in squares at the tops from where the welds are rusted? Trying to save the VIN on both sides. Thanks. Okay, you're talking about where they overlap and they rust out. I've done that where I've cut out the square, got all the rust out of there, created a patch and welded it in. If the rest of the aprons are good, I would do that. Just save that what you can of the original panels. You'll be further ahead, in my opinion. But I have done that where I've cut out the squares. Yes. Yep. It is a very cool car, Greg. 428 power. Wait for spring to paint. I painted a Cougar a couple weekends ago. It was 75 here in Florida. Yeah, well, that's a little bit nicer than here in Georgia. Definitely have to have the humidity down. I want the right situation. Yeah, 88 Katana, sweet, yes. Nick, I kind of want an old gas station pump myself, but the prices are ridiculous. I like the sort of man cave stuff. Plus, I need more space anyway. It's funny. I saw a since you're creative, Nick, right? You build stuff. I saw one that was it was like made all from plastic. I mean, it was just a simple, like they took a big, what was it, a big piece of conduit or something, like the PVC pipe, and took that and took a bunch of different pieces of plastic, made a cap for it, and then took like a big water jug bottle and put on top of it and put some plastic, some tubing around it, like PVC or something. It was really creative from that aspect. And from the road, it would look like an old gas pump. But I think I saved those pictures somewhere. But you don't have to have an original one. Just build one that looks close and people will think it is. Derek, very nice comment. Yes. Mike, nice comment. Yep. Marshall, like the hood with the 2 scoops. Awesome. Yes. Chris, FE was supposed to be in the winter, but FE was supposed to be in the winter, but our go-to guy shop is terrible. Okay. Infernal Craftsman, yes, the hood does make the car. Yep. Nice detail on the comment, Dave from New Jersey. Yes. Okay. Dave, there's another Dave from New Jersey. There's Daves from all over the place on here. There's a lot of Daves. Len, awesome car. Very jealous. Yeah, that is a nice car. Joe Lee Cox checking in. Good evening, everyone. Clark, join the Dave. We are all Dave. Dave's not here. 428 power, great looking comment. Yes. Nick, I love the old Mercury stuff from the first half of the 60s. I've always wanted a 63 Marauder. To me, it's more aggressive looking than Galaxy. Beautiful car. I will have one. Dang it. I saw one of those for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Yep. And the price wasn't bad either. It was a good looking car. I know what you're talking about. BQ Woods. Thanks, guys. The hood is exclusive to the 66 Cyclone GTs and impossible to find. This one was in bad shape. My body guy spent a lot of time working his magic on it. Yeah, it does look nice. It looks very nice. Mason, my grandpa's shop, has an old gas station pump. He also has a stereo with big speakers out in the shop as well. It's not insulated, but him and I will be insulating it here soon. Good. Chris, I like a 67 Fairlane front better. Yeah. Well, we can all have our likes and dislikes. Mike's Mustang, Bad Chad made one on Discovery Channel. Yeah, the gas pump. Yeah. Chris, they're a fine for sure. Love the Mercury. Yes. Arthur, Dave's not here. Caden is saying, hey, you. Well, hey, Caden. Drag Boss, love the comment and the channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Warren Witten, for your information, I love the hat. Yep. This was the only free thing I think I ever got from Mustangs Unlimited. After spending probably tens of thousands of dollars there, I think it was my last thing. I don't know when it was. I ordered something. Actually, I think it was when I had the fenders or the quarter panels for Jade, and I took back one of the quarter panels because it was the wrong one. And somehow the guy was like, "Hey, you want a hat?" I'm like, "Sure." So he said, "Pick one out from up on top." I was like, "Okay." So I picked this one out, and like I said, only was tens of thousands of dollars I spent there, and I got a free hat. Jeff, it's Dave. I got the stuff. Dave's not here. Chris Greenaway, at the sign of the cat. Anyone know that division's slogan? At the sign of the cat. You talking about Exxon? We'll put a tiger in your tank? Mason, I've always wanted to get my friend a 65 Ford Galaxy 500 police car, four-door. That's the old vintage sirens on it. I know someone that's got a Galaxy police car, and it's got dual glass back. Cool. That would be cool. Johnny Crash, I like my 1990 Grand Marquis. You'd be amazed what a head turner a car like that is now. Yeah, that's surprisingly true. Those cars, the Grand Marquis, are still, turning heads. I like the Mercury Marauder. They had the Marauder where they blacked it all out. I've seen a couple of those cruising around. They were very similar. Like if you look at the 96 Impala SS, it's all like subdued trim, really cool looking car at its time. But the Marauder, yeah, I would drive one of those. I'd be happy to drive one of those. Terry, did the 63 Marauder you saw need a lot of work? It was actually looked really decent. It's probably gone, but it was on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was blue. It was a good looking car, but I can't remember what they were asking for it either. Randall Heath, checking in from Mountain Green, Utah. Give us an update on the Comet, or in your Cougar. We're talking Comets right now, but give me an update on the Cougar. That's in the Mercury category. Nick, hey, back off, Terry. It's mine. Chris, nope. Mercury and Lincoln dealership slogan was at the sign of the cat. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. Rick Stevenson had it. At the sign of the cat, your Lincoln Mercury dealer. I don't even remember. We had 3 channels in the 70s. I don't really remember any car commercials coming on. I don't even remember seeing a dealership, we lived out in the boonies, and I don't remember remember a dealership from that time period, but I know they were there. I just never really paid attention, I guess. Johnny Crash, my 1990 was the second to last year of the boxy body style. It gives it's a lot of compliments. Lovely car to daily drive. Yep. Brian had a 6.6 Comet Sport Coupe 289 car I dropped in Cleveland. Fun car, got stolen, never recovered. Someone drove it like they stole it. Yeah, sounds like it. Ken, wow, you should show the before pic on the red Comet from Paul. Well, he was on our live stream. A while back, sometime last year, obviously, and he was showing us the car and telling us about it. But I don't have any pictures of it in the pre-state. Randall, saw you chime in on Grease for Grease chat the other day, and you had me worried about reinstalling rear window. You said it was easier with quarter panels off. It is. It's a lot easier. I mean, you have access to it. You can easily manipulate it. I mean, it's just a lot easier with quarters off. In my opinion. Welder 4956. Good evening, all. Chris, Ford gives you better ideas. Yeah. Randall, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. That's awesome. Randall, any thoughts on reinstalling rear windows with quarter panels installed? I think here you have an answer from the Infernal Craftsman down here. If you do the windows after the quarters are on, you have to put the glass in first, then the steel pieces, and slide it over the glass. He will be doing it that way. So there's an answer for you. I know it's a struggle, but there's an answer for you. Leonard is asking, Barry, is there a way to support you other than Patreon? Well, I mean, technically, yeah, there is. I mean, I have a PayPal, account, which is the same as my email. If you were looking at doing something along those lines, that would be awesome. But my email, that email on the bottom of the page, jdaddysgarage@gmail.com, that's the same as my my PayPal. So that's another way to do it. I appreciate any support, whichever way it comes. But that would be another way to do it. And then, of course, as Randall has done the super sticker here, that's another way. But again, YouTube takes their cut from that, just kind of the way it works. Terry Baptist, Parnelli Jones raced a Mercury Marauder. Cool. Welder enjoyed this Comet Cyclone video. Yeah, that turned out really nice. I'm sure he had a lot more information to share too. Robert, I'm going to do the smoke glass and won't be buying it for a while, so got to do it the hard way. Okay, so there you go, Randall. That's why Robert is doing that process, because of the smoke glass. I've never took them out of jade. I probably should have while I had the quarters off. I probably should have cleaned all the grease and crud out of them, put new rollers in, but I didn't. So bad on me for not doing that. Winged Warrior. Rarest car I've owned, 1940 Pontiac Silver Street Convertible Deluxe, straight 8 and hydromatic. Only 1700 made, as just after World War II. 1948 Pontiac Silver Street Convertible Deluxe. That's when they put all kinds of words with their cars, right? I mean, think about it. Pontiac Silver Street Convertible Deluxe. Probably had hydromatic on the side somewhere. Lots of chrome, 1700. That's pretty rare. Pretty rare car. I can't say that I've had anything particularly rare that I can think of. Nothing that was, yeah. Well, probably the rarest thing, and I say rare in a sense that you can't really just go buy one quickly anymore. I had a 72 Chevy 4x4 that was a factory short bed. But it was a 3-speed manual. It had a dealer or factory installed brush guard. It had the tow hooks on the front, which are high dollar now. If you ever find those tow hooks on a 4x4, big bucks. So, and this one that I had was actually a forestry service truck. So it had added in a fuel tank. It had a fuel tank in the bed of the truck, and then it had a fuel line that came up underneath the cab and a valve underneath the seat that was all installed for the forestry service. So that's the only truck that I really regret selling. And I sold it locally here in Georgia because I had that truck in the military. I used to tow my it's in that video. It's in my junkyard video. You can see it. It's got the it's a blue 4x4 with a camper top on it. I talk about it briefly. But at the time I needed some money and I sold the thing like an idiot. So it sold it to somebody local here in Georgia. And I have friends who work at the tag office, and they checked the VIN number for me, and it never got registered again. So I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it. I've looked for it for years, and I have no idea where it's at. But if I find it, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy that truck back. Chris, I hope to have my buddy's garage. He has a malt shop themed music, the dealership posters of his car, and a little TV playing ad for his car. That sounds interesting. Chris, okay, talking to Leonard. Brian, I worked as a line mechanic at a Ford dealership in the early 80s. Our TSBs We're full of Ford's better ideas. No doubt. Okay, Leonard. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Okay, Brian Bergman. It's way worse these days. From Robert. Bob Shoemaker. PayPal sent money, ensures Barry gets 100% of it. Yeah, I mean that's probably the most return. I mean, there's depending on how it's sent. There are ways to do it differently, but a lot of times PayPal will take a cut if it's not like to a friend type of thing, but their cut is very small percentage. Gordon, I noticed your subscriber count went up by 1,000. I guess it. I don't know when you checked in last, but yeah, it's at 45,851 right now. And climbing. Leonard, I'll be looking at, okay. BK Woods, rare means impossible to find parts. That was a real struggle with the Cyclone. With your particular car, I would bet that is 100% true. Chris, there's only one car I'm looking for. 68 Meteor Lamagne? What is that? Dark blue convertible 428 Coverjet Canadian car only. Same as the Mercury. 68 Meteor. I don't even know how you say that. Lamagne? Never heard of that car. Nice saying Park Lane. Okay, same as the Mercury Park Lane. Okay. Third Coast, OBS. Good evening, Joe Daddy. Just popped in to Showsport and say, hey, from Texas. Well, I'm glad you're here. OBS. Was that Onboard Solutions? I don't know what OBS is. I think I've heard it before, but I can't think of what it stands for. 126 watching right now. Thumbs up to all of you. Throw a thumbs up to me down below. Wayne Warrior, yes, it is in the junkyard video. Would be a sweet ride. Yeah, I should never have sold that truck. And I actually converted it to a 4-speed. I pulled the 4-speed out of a Suburban, 72 Suburban, put all that in it. Man, it was such a cool truck. Idiot. Chris, only 580 some made. Good luck. Glad he said he wanted the Firebird back. Yeah. Joe Lee Cox, me Barry. I have never driven my 65. Just using the suspension that's on the car now and driving it before, during any upgrades, manual steering, suspension. Well, without really knowing what condition everything is in, are you planning to upgrade is probably the first question anyway. But I mean, if you're getting it all together and painted, and it has everything's good underneath it, let's say, not rusted or falling apart, there's nothing wrong with, driving it, as it is. Manual steering, suspension, that's not going to make much difference. Look at your tie rods and stuff like that. Make sure they're not coming apart. You could look at your, my biggest concern would be rotted out bushings or rust on control arms, that sort of thing, heavy pitted rust. That would be the biggest thing to look at. But otherwise, I don't see any reason why you can't drive it, at least short term, as is. Mike's Mustang, do you know best place I can get a set of fiberglass doors and fiberglass hatch for an 86 Mustang GT? I do not. Does anybody have any input for Mike's Mustang? Fiberglass doors and fiberglass hatch for 86 Mustang GT. Derek Pro, if only we go back, if only we could have kept all of our cars. Gotta go. Have a great weekend. We'll see you, Derek. Glad you were here. Harvey, I installed my quarter windows after the quarters were welded on and the inside was clean, sealed, and painted. It was fine doing it in that sequence. Okay, well, thank you for that, Harvey. Leonard, thumbs up. Yes. David Outdoors checking in. Thumbs up. to Rick Stevenson as well. David Outdoor, still waiting on my sending unit for my new gas tank. Everything is on back order. Yep. Everything is on back order. OBS, old body style. Yeah, that works. Dave from New Jersey, building a 66 GT 350 Hertz Rent a Racer Tribute clone reproduction. Built the stock 289 to horsepower specs, or build a 331 stroker with aluminum heads. Undecided. Well, I mean, if you're doing it as a clone, I mean, you're going to want to build it as a 289, but if you're doing it as a resto clone type of thing, build the 331. Now, you could paint the heads so they look like they're the right color, you know. You could paint the heads, dress it down so it doesn't look so flashy. People have done that, and that may be, you know, the route you should take. But that's a tough choice. Third Coast OBS. OBS is old body style Ford 92 to 97 diesels or the 150s. Okay. Well, thank you for that. David Outdoors, I got a video from my transmission guy. He's also waiting on parts for the transmission. He's updating my transmission. Yep. Parts are on back order for sure. Brian, I won't do a 5-speed version, but the T5s are getting hard to find in my area. Anyone know of other? Oh, I want to do a T5 or a 5-speed conversion, but the T5s are getting hard to find in my area. Anyone know of other options? I don't have an answer for that. Welder, Barry, I noticed a large blue Harbor Freight filter regulator on your air compressor line. How do you like it? I've been looking for a good filter and the price is good. Harbor Freight filter regulator on your air compressor line. Oh, yeah. I guess I do have that, don't I? It does okay. I mean, it's not amazing. You know, probably should spend money on something like that. Spend more money on it. Get an Ingersoll or something like that. You know, I can't say that would be the best choice. I put it in because I had it, and you know, go spend some money on it and get a good one. You'll be further ahead. Okay, let me see here. I'm getting a bunch of pictures. So let me go back and I'm trying to get these pictures downloaded so I can put them on the stream here. Whoops. Hang on, I'm messing up. Okay. So I've had a couple different pictures sent to me recently, and I got to get one. Here we go. Why can't I just simply download these? This doesn't make sense. There we go. Oh, yeah. These are good pictures, Paul. Ken wanted to see the pictures. Okay. Now I have a bunch of pictures I got to pull up. So give me a second. Give me a second or two. See if I can't pull this off. So we're going to have the 48 Pontiac. Let me get the comment, pull that comment back. So that's the 48 Comet the Winged Warrior was, 48 Pontiac that Winged Warrior was talking about. And then let me see here. I'm going to have to pull some of these other ones down here in just a second. See if I can get this sequence right, because I downloaded several. That was the wrong one. I'm getting there. Keep the chat going, because you're going to like these other pictures here. That car's got a lot of chrome on the front. They love their chrome. They loved having lots of chrome. That's a cool looking car, though. That is a cool looking car. 19. Okay. So let me go back to pull this off. And then I had, let me see. I had Chris send me pictures of the Meteor. Whoops. And that was this car. I guess was that the 68 we were talking about? I believe. And so here's another shot of that car. Yep. That reminds me of the movie. There was a movie called The Car. Yeah, I think it was called The Car, and it had a big grill like that kind of shape. Of course, it was heavily customized. But there were requests for pictures of the Comet before it got all fixed up. So there's one in the sequence, and then here is it blasted, and I think this is maybe the same shot. Okay, I may have missed one because the numbers were odd. That's 19, 21, 17. What am I missing? Okay, I think I must have got them all. But anyway, that was the car before it was when it was blasted. So, all right, cool stuff. Let me go back up here a second and see if I can get caught up where I was on the chat, because every time I click away, a lot of stuff comes up. Okay, Chris. Honestly, the biggest improvement for me in my daily driving was my 67 was installing Randall's rack and pinion conversion. Man, I wouldn't go back to the same setup on my 69 Mach 1 as well. Not heard of them, but cool. Winged Warrior. Brian, I had a set of gears for a T5 from the one I built for the Winged Warrior. Okay, yeah, I got the 48 Pontiac. Clark. Harwood makes Mustang fiberglass doors 79 and 93. So there you go. Harwood is the answer on the fiberglass doors question. So thank you for that, Clark. Ken, anyone ever put aftermarket EFI on these older engines, thinking of putting a Holley Sniper 2-barrel or a 22R in my 88 truck? So there's a question. Winged Warrior T5s are plentiful, already rebuilt as well. Okay, so Chris had sent me the pic of a Lemoyne, maybe. Lemony? I don't know how to say it. So I posted those. Bad Harry, U.S. Body makes fiberglass doors and hatch for 79 to 93. So that was that answers that question for the hatch as well. Thank you, Bad Harry. Let's see. Brendan Wilson, can you shut hood on your car, please? I sure can. But then I can't start it, right? Let me see. How about that? That look better? You want the trunk shut too? They're going to move Iron Man. How's that? Is that better? That deserves a thumbs up, right? Rally Cat, Harvey installed a CJ Pony parts right door skin on the Tina 68 Mustang last week. Great fit and thick metal. Gave it a very positive review. Good. Thank you for that. Talking about company. It's in Florida that makes the fiberglass parts. Got some other responses going on. Dave Conville, I love that Pontiac, gorgeous. Yes. BK Woods, my arms are tired from thinking polishing all that chrome. Yeah. Let's see here. Dave from New Jersey is saying 390 engine. Okay, I don't know. Ish 419. Hey Barry, what would be the biggest engine in your opinion that could be installed on a 66 convertible with the original front end? Now, I don't know if Dave from New Jersey is responding to that with the 390 engine. That's probably your limitation somewhere. I mean, I worked on a 68 that had a 428 in it, and it was in there, but it wasn't pretty. So I haven't looked at what could be put into a 66 as far as the size with the shock towers and everything in place. But a 390 sounds reasonable, but I can't say exactly. So, Dennis, if anybody has any answers for Ish 419, by the way, I know there's somebody on here that can say you can put in this, but not this. So, by all means, give him some information. Dennis Paulson, hi Barry, and all the best of the new year. Your video on 65's Mercury Comet. On the 1965 Mercury Comet, beautiful car. Yes, I agree. Eli Doss, hey Jay Dad's Garage, I've been following your Jade series while we've been in my 67 coupe. Really appreciate the effort you put into your videos. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. Mike's Mustang. So good. Yep, you got some questions answered there. Dave, I was talking about you earlier because you had sent me pictures of the 37 Coupe Express Studebaker, and I gave credit to Dave Conville because I really didn't pay. I saw Dave, and I remember Dave Conville had sent me some pictures prior, but I was giving him credit instead of you. But we figured it out. Leonard is checking out on us. Take care, all. See you Thursday. Yes, glad you were here. Robert, Dave is here. Yeah, multiple Daves. Okay. Chris Greenaway, Lemoyne. Yeah. You missed a space. Okay. Johnny Crash. Biggest I've seen fit in a 65, 66 is a 351 with some massaging of the shock towers. Yeah. 351 Windsor, not Cleveland. Yeah, it's a tight fit. It is a tight fit. So, whew. All right. We're caught up on the chat. Man, that was a lot of okay, wait a minute. Oh, wow. Okay, I have to download these. I have to download these pictures real quick. Because we were talking about the Capri earlier. And I was just sent some pictures from wait a minute. Darren. And these pictures, I'll read over the stats here in just a minute. Let me see if I can get these pictures pulled in. Because you got to love cars. It doesn't matter if it's what brand. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm only going to work on this or only going to work on that. I grew up with thousands of cars in my life, and certain ones I like better than others, but I also have a place for many cars in my heart. So I'm going to show you a picture here. Let me pull off this comment so it doesn't block your view. And boomsy. Now, this is a Ford Piranha, pronounced piranha like the fish. Here's the specs on it. 1970 Ford Piranha V8. Engine, Ford Windsor V8 fitted with a stage 2/3 muscle kit option as per 1969 Mustang. Aluminum high-rise intake, high-tension valve springs, and high-lift camshaft. 302 cubic inch. Born stroke 101.6 by 76.2 millimeter. Compressor ratio 9.3 to 1. Fuel system Holley 4-barrel. Transmission 4-speed top loader with aluminum bell housing, custom manufactured drive shaft. Suspension, McPherson struts and anti-roll bar. Live rear axle. Limited slip. Steering, special one-off rack and pinion. Sourced from LHD Capri, turned upside down and fitted in front of crossmember to allow engine to sit low and back against the firewall. This gives these cars unique weight distribution. Brakes, hydraulic, dual servo, disc drum. Max speed, 240 kilometers per hour. I don't know what that translates to. And 0 to 60 kilometers per hour, 6.4 seconds. Standing quarter mile, 14.6 seconds. Production, 70 to 73, although exact number is not known, is believed that around 430 to 500 Capri Piranha V8s were built. Globally, about 50 still exist today. So, let me show you a shot of the engine. Ooh. That's cool. I mean, that's a cool little car right there. You're talking about a thing that's about the size of a, Fox body Mustang, really. But with a V8 engine in it, that's a cool little car. I can't argue with that. Hold on. I'll go back up here another second. Dave from New Jersey is saying 390 is too much weight up front, clearance issues with headers. Talking about the engine in the 66. Johnny Crash and Dave from New Jersey, thank you. Eli Doss, I'm working on picking out leaf springs for the 67. I'm wanting a 1-inch drop. Has anyone on here used CJ Classic springs? Do you have any recommendations? I have not used them, so anybody else have any input? Nick, I think we need another Dave. It's a tax write-off. I'm sure of it. Yeah. Johnny Crash, I saw a project on StangNet where someone installed 67 to 68 shock towers in a 66 to get extra room. That's an interesting thought. Took some skill, but that may be an option if you're adventurous enough. That's a thought. That's an interesting thought. I could pull that off. I know I could. I don't need to, but I know I could. Dave Britton, the tax man, might take one of us. Dave Conville. I don't know, Nick. I think New Jersey taxes the name Dave. Yeah. Roger Berry just needs a better accountant to write off the Daves. Yes. Bad boy. I have a question. Did all the 1970 Mustangs have the VIN on the block or only the Boss and the Cobra Jets? Thank you. So there's a question I can't answer. Did all of the 1970 Mustangs have the VIN on the block or only the Boss and the Cobra Jets? So any answer to that would be grateful. Yeah, that's a sweet little car. Well, it is a Capri. That's all it is. It's a Capri. But this one is the Piranha. It's really just a Capri. In fact, I can't look at the picture in any other scale. Let me see if it's hold on a second. It might say it. I have a hold on. I can blow up the picture, and it does look like it says Capri on the deck lid, but it also has a V8 on the deck lid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does say Capri. Looks like it in the picture that I can access. So, yeah. Cool car. Really is. Hold on. Woo. Johnny Crash, that's a Ford Capri. Nice little cars they got in Europe. It had a short-lived stint in America and as a Mercury Capri. not related to the Fox platform version of that car. No, it's not. It's not related, but I'm saying as far as size, it was similar in size to a Fox. Clark is saying looks like a Jensen Interceptor. All right, Len, I'm out, guys. Great stuff tonight. Thank you, Len. Glad you were here. Clark Clifford, the speed translated to 144 miles per hour. Johnny Crash is saying 150 based on that. So that's probably close enough. Still really fast for that little car. Robert, I was thinking the Jensen as well. Those were cool cars. Too bad they didn't make it in the U.S. Yes, I remember seeing pictures of Jensens. Darren Powell, Piranha, 280 horsepower, 2,200 pounds. Yeah, that sounds like, as Darren says, a lot of fun. Yep. Winged Warrior Dave likes the Piranha. Dave from New Jersey, frame or unibody yellow forward. That would be a unibody car. Yep. Nice Ford, yes. Greg, Johnny Crash. What about deletes for the shock towers? They would give you lots of room. Yeah, that's the other option. Johnny Crash, only if you install a suspension that makes them unnecessary. That's correct. Buck's Wood Shop, man, I'm glad you're here, man. I haven't seen any input from you for a while, but I'm glad you're here. Hope things are well. If you like woodworking videos, particularly lathe and bowl turning, check out Buck's Wood Shop. He's got some cool stuff on there. I do. I like your videos. I think some of those you could have just some like music playing and just working in wood. Kind of relaxing. Eli Doss, what is the timeline for Jade? When is it supposed to be painted? Still going back to the aqua color. Yeah, it was supposed to be painted 7 years ago. Maybe 6 years ago. Timeline as far as to be painted, I'm really would like it to be painted this month, but again, I've talked about this. Weather conditions are going to come into play. It's got to be the right time to paint. So hopefully it works out. I know I can at least get it all, in another coat of primer, which is the plan, and then go from there. But we'll have to see how the weather holds up. Dave Britton, the Capri Piranha would compare to a V8 Vega. Yeah, sort of. The Piranha sounds a lot meaner, though. I mean, the V8 Vega, they had those little V8 engines in them that were, I know they had the aluminum V8s, the Cosworth engines. I know they had all kinds of problems with that stuff. So the Piranha sounds like, a muscle car of that generation. But yeah, similar in size, definitely. Nick Mass, yeah, I would go that fast in that little brick, little yellow brick. I like to live dangerously. Yeah. Stressed out, VINs were not stamped into 6 cylinders. I believe they were on all other V8 Mustangs. So that may be a good answer. I don't know for sure. Clark, let me give you a bell on that, Stress, because I don't know for sure. So I'm assuming. Clark, you should make a show about the Daves you know. Brennan Wilson checking in. How do you do? How do you? You're missing some words there. I see you're trying again. We'll get it figured out. Robert, Dave, and his other brother Dave. Yeah. This is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Yeah, 6 years ago, Eli. Probably something like that. Dave from New Jersey would have been a great race against a Chevy Vega Cosworth. Yep. Let's see. Brendan's Garage, really enjoyed your latest Viewers Project show. Thank you. That's all. Yeah, it was good. It's nice to see different cars. Clark, I had a Chevy Monza with a 305. Couldn't keep a rear or trans in it. Yeah, I'll bet. BK Woods, how about a Baldwin Motion Vega? No, that would be different. I'm sure that would be a runner. They put some good stuff in those cars. Dave Britton, they only made one testbed V8 Vega. The Cosworth was a 4-banger. I have a swapped V8 one now. Why was I was thinking they made some V8 Vegas though. I really was, because they had I remember. I thought for sure we had one in the junkyard that had an aluminum engine in it. I think I could be wrong. Brennan, how do I send you a picture of a car? Send it to my email at the bottom of the screen. Send me an email with the picture in it, and then I'll see if I can upload it, and we'll go from there. So let me get back to my comments. Chris, Barry, would you rather have a frame or unibody, a frame on body or a unibody? It depends on the car. You know, like I said, I'm a fan of so many cars that I can't say. You know, I had a 55 Chevy. It was a full frame car. You know, my trucks I've had full frames, unibody Mustangs. You know, I can't really say I'd prefer one over the other necessarily. So, sorry. Johnny Crash, I briefly considered importing a Capri when I lived in Germany. Couldn't afford it, though. Yeah. Octagon Garage. Harbor Freight sells a refrigerated air dryer by Central Pneumatic for the $400 range. Have you seen it? And what are your thoughts? I was thinking about getting this for myself. I've looked that up. I've heard mixed returns on that because I've looked at getting one of those too. And I still may do it because the price is so reasonable. But I've heard, you read the reviews, and some reviews are like, this thing's the best thing ever. It's fantastic, blah, blah, blah. And then I've read reviews where I said, we've used this in our shop, and we're on our third one. You know, we've had to send it back multiple times because something isn't made very well. So that's about all I can say about that. I've looked them up. I've thought about it, and I still may get one, but I just haven't done it. About as far as I can go on that. Chris, I would video my Firebird, but I don't have a shop, just a crummy carport. Dave from New Jersey, they did. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe I haven't researched it hard enough to give you a solid answer on that. Winged Warrior, they made Vegas with V8s. So I know, Dave, maybe they weren't exported with the V8s. Maybe. I don't know, because I know I've seen them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody can look up the production numbers for V8 Vegas. Now, Welder says no factory V8 Vegas were made, but the Monza could be ordered with a V8. So maybe that's what I'm talking about. Maybe it was the Monza. Nah, maybe that's what I saw. But I mean, it looked the same as the Vega. So I don't know what the technical difference is between a Monza and a Vega. Dave Britton, man, he swapped the F85 Olds engines into the Vega. If you had one, it was a swapped one. Okay. Clark, there were V6 and I4 Vegas. That's why she's just a Monza factory V8. Okay. Chris, my dad ordered. Okay. All right. PK Woods. Vegas has a huge aftermarket for mods and swaps. There's a lot of room in the engine bay. Oh, Vegas, not Vegas. Yeah. There's a lot you can do with the Vega. Infernal Craftsman Robert, I would like to give the Harbor Freight air dryer a try, but I've also thought of doing the mini fridge version or the 55-gallon drum of water and a coil in it. Well, I haven't even seen that, but that sounds interesting. The mini fridge. You may have to give me some insight on that. I have not seen that option. Roger Clark, I had the old Forenza version of the Monza in high school. You don't see those anymore. Chris, Barry, do you remember when people, if the car came in ordered wrong and you get sweet deals? I know what you're talking about, like from a dealership or something. I know maybe some words missing there, but do you remember when people if the car came in ordered wrong and you could get sweet deals. Yeah, I've heard of that, of cars not coming in the right way and then they just discount them and get rid of them. Robert, the Vega was reading the Monza after its teething issues were fixed. Okay. Dave, I'm going to be the contrarian here. No factory V8 Vegas. GM made one prototype as 302, never got off the ground. Okay. But we're talking about the Monza too as being a change of name, let's say. I really like the 71, was it 70? The split bumper Vega. You had a 70.5 Camaro that had the split bumper in it. Of course, later on the government's like, no, that's not safe. But I like the Vega that copies that Camaro. That's my favorite Vega. Okay, so he looked it up, did not come with a V8. Brennan, like your car. Okay. I was seeing if there was any other pictures. Mike's Mustang, in recommendations on carbon jet sizes for 447 horsepower, 433 foot-pounds torque on a small block Ford 347. No, I don't. But if anybody else does, by all means, let Mike know. Welder, I have a 76 Mustang 2 with a V8 that we are restoring. Currently had a 68 302 with flat top pistons and 289 heads. Lots of fun, but hard on transmissions. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, okay, so we still have. Okay, wait a minute. All right, so we have. Sorry, Dave. Monza was a complete different body than the Vega. The only same thing was a floor pan for the year 76 and up between the Vega and the Monza. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Maybe I saw the Monza with the V8 in it. It's been a long time ago. I might have slept a couple times since then. Chris, my dad's Mercury Comet GT was supposed to be a 4 on the floor. Dealership order came with a 3 on the tree. 302 discounted him like $500 to get it off the lot. Yep. Dave Conville, my Monzas could definitely be ordered with V8s. Yeah. Smogged out V8s. In front of Craftsman, the split bumper wasn't safe back then, but today it'd be more protection than the plastic bumpers we have now. Maybe. There's a lot of engineering goes into this. Plastic bumpers are just covers, as we all know. They don't do much, but I still like the split bumper on the Vega. Dave from New Jersey, Motion Performance and Guncio Chevrolet sold new big block V8 Vegas. Ooh, I would like to see one of those. Dave Britton, thumbs up, by the way. Thank you. Chris, I'll take my 77 Firebird front end, then the W Camaros. The early Camaro, that 70.5, that split bumper, that giant opening, looks like it's going to eat you. Yeah, I like those. Okay, it's been over 2 hours. I still have 94 viewers. So, are you saying the W nosed? Okay. So I thought maybe that I should start up the Mustang. Is that a good idea? Should I start it up, do a cold start? Because it's been a cold start. It's been sitting. I haven't fired it up since the last time. So I think I should fire it up. Just get a little rev out of it, right? Wake up the neighbors. Wake up my neighbor Roger. He's already on here. So let's see if I can get it to start. Little inspiration, right? Little inspiration. Get this stuff out of the way so it doesn't blow off. Might blow a lot of sanding dust out. All right. Let's see. See if she'll start. Carb's dry. One belt I need to tighten up. Can't wait. Whew. Okay, let me turn the fan on. Pull some of these fumes out of here. All right. Always encouraging, right? All right. Let's see. We have a bunch of thumbs up. Yes. Fired up, fired up, fired up, fired up. Yep. Okay. When idling, it sounds like, whoops. When idling, it sounds like it's saying, take me out. Take me out, 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 take me out. What's the idle RPM? I have no idea. I don't have any tack hooked up. I don't have gauges. Clark Clifford, every time Jade starts, hey, Dave gets its wings. Hawkbuster's hanging on like a champ. Yeah. Sorry, Roger. I could open up the big door, but I've got all my insulation blankets all over. Oh, Dave, you couldn't hear anything. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Chris, definitely for the wife. Yeah. Chris, what color is it going to be? Gulfstream Aqua. Gulfstream Aqua. That is the color. Thumbs up from Rick. Thumbs up from Darren. All right. Yeah, smoke detector going off. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to call it a night. It's been great having you all here. We've had a great number of people show up and, be part of this process. It looks like, I don't know how up to date this is, 106 likes and 2 dislikes. 2 dislikes. There's people out there that are like that, but that's okay. They stopped in and they that actually doesn't really matter. But appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to be back on Thursday at 3 p.m. We'll do our Thursday afternoon live stream for people from Europe so they can get involved and be part of the show. But it's been really, really nice having everybody here and responding and the pictures. Chris, yes, they are thrush welded mufflers. There's a video of the exhaust on this car for Jade. Brian, off topic Iron Man. You think Iron Man's gone for good? They're never good in the comic book world. Okay. All right. So I'll be back on Thursday. Thank you all for being here and participating. And that's going to be it. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.